I'm here, joined by Alex Olney from Nintendo Life. Hello, Alex.
Hello there.
Nice
Lovely
to see
people.
You. Nice to see you. Oh,
Nice to see you as well. Thank you for having me on.
You came here today to experience the wonders of Nintendo Switch. So tell us about it. The first time you picked it up, how does it feel?
The first time I picked it up, it was for Splatoon 2.
Okay.
And I thought, oh, this is nice. It's got a nice tactile feel to it.
So I'll tell you what, we've got the Nintendo Switch console right there in front of us. Why don't you whip it out and then just remind yourself and let us know what your first impressions are. Because you were playing Splatoon 2, right?
Oh, the screen is absolutely gorgeous, isn't it?
What else have you been enjoying on the show floor?
Oh, well, I had to go with ARMS.
So tell us about, obviously you play ARMS with the two Joy-Con controllers, so you just slot them off of that lovely little screen down there.
You can do that now?
You can do it now. Why don't you try doing it now?
Ooh, I've not done this yet. Oh,
there you go.
Cheeky. And
so there we go, and then we can put this down here, and obviously there's a kickstand on the back, so you can stand it up in tabletop mode.
It's very responsive. There's, I feared with motion controls there's often, sort of delay and things like that. I didn't get any of that. Being able to use the Joy-Cons in so many different variations, it really is a sort of a Swiss Army knife in many ways.
So we've been talking about how you got used to playing ARMS and you got to grips with it, and then you became much better at it. So there's definitely a learning curve there, but there's definitely more depth there, right?
There's definitely a learning curve. You've got to know the moves, and I think that's really important, and that's what's going to make it the game that you come back to.
Another game that uses that and also uses the Rumble HD feature is 1-2 Switch. So
yes,
you've managed to...
I've managed to play a bit of 1-2 Switch, and with the one that really stuck out to me was the ball game, where you have to hold the Joy-Con like that and you roll it back and forth, and the HD Rumble, you feel as though there are balls inside the controller.
So the game's called Ball Count, and it's one of the games within 1-2 Switch. How do you describe, what does it feel like to have those balls in there?
It's just as though it was actually in your hand, and you tilt it back and forth, and you can feel the balls rolling and knocking at the other side, and each individual... I don't know, how do you manage it?
Let's take it all the way back. So we slot those Joy-Cons back on, and we go back to a more traditional feeling game like brand new Zelda. So what do you think about The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild?
You've got this freedom to run around and explore, but we've seen with the most recent trailer and with a little bit of the story demo that I played here that the narrative is still there. It's still very quintessentially Zelda. And I'm only disappointed that I didn't get to play more of it before having to come over here. I'm going to be playing it in my room, in my studio, possibly on the toilet, if I feel that way inclined.
Absolutely. Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild is a launch title for the Nintendo Switch. That's March the 3rd. Let's talk about something that's a little way off. Super Mario Odyssey. Where to begin, young sir? Where to begin?
It's, without a doubt, the best looking Mario game we've seen.
Yeah.
Just, from a purely visual standpoint, not talking about the gameplay at all, but just from a visual standpoint, wow. I don't know whether, I noticed only when I went back and rewatched it, but there's even texture in his hair and things like that, and in his moustache. We've seen so many vastly contrasting worlds. Like, for example, that sort of strange vegetable world.
So that in a minute, I think we're going to see one of his new power-ups, right? Which is the new hat. What do you think about a new hat?
I think it's one of those things where I just saw it and it just made me smile. I saw it and I just thought, that's a nice thing. Because it's something, sort of we take Mario's hat for granted, I think, a lot. You're just bringing in something that is so simple. Just throwing the hat, jump off it. Just to name one of the things that can...
Yeah.
Wait for it. There are the eyes.
The eyes.
The eyes. It's just something so simple, and I think that's part of the beauty of it. It's so Nintendo.
Alex Olney, Nintendo Life, thank you so much for coming in to join us.
Thank you for having me.
Pleasure, sir. Pleasure.